Hi, I'm Mike Alberghini, Director of Domestic Sales. I'm here with Fred Allen. We're from Earth Networks, and we're here to talk to you today about lightning safety, specifically in the sports and recreation space.
So 2/3 of all lightning deaths are associated with outdoor recreational athletic activities. Top recreational activities with lightning fatalities include fishing, camping, boating, beaching. Some top sports include football, running, soccer, golf, and baseball.
Actually, 79% of all lightning deaths are actually from males in outdoor activities, and I think a lot of that has to do just with males seem to be a little bit more of risk takers. I know from personal experience playing golf many years ago, you try to get in the last couple holes, whereas females might be a little bit smarter and get off the course quickly. These are just some examples out there of obviously some recreational sports. Golf and country clubs, we work with a lot of those. Sports complexes, pools and beachfronts, and then we have our stakeholders, people that are out at the facilities and out at the complexes. Obviously, you got your athletes, your trainers, your teachers, referees, and spectators as well. Then over here, kind of on the more organized sports, we've got our K-12, high school, colleges, and professional sports teams as well.
So taking a look at the types of lightning, basically the simple definition for lightning is a discharge of electricity when positive areas and negative areas meet. And it creates a strike. It could be, cloud to ground, like this example down here on the left, or it could be this example down on the right where it's inside the cloud to cloud, where those charges connect. And then, importantly, we have the bolt from the blue up here at the top right, where essentially, a strike of lightning comes out of the backside of the thunderstorm that can extend out 10 to 25 miles. And some of the research that I've done before I came on, some people have actually been struck by these bolt from the blue in the past.
So I know, when people typically think lightning, you think southwest, southeast, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, some of those areas there. But you can take a look here. These are just some examples over the past years of lightning all over the place. You even have some out in California. And I know today, looking at the map, we actually had some lightning up in Maine today. So no matter where you are, I think it's really important to make sure you keep an eye on the weather and determine if lightning may be an issue that day for you. And just some of the challenges, I know from a sports complex and a golf course standpoint, you've got a lot of open spaces, especially if you're at a complex where you're having a tournament that weekend. You could have hundreds of thousands of people there. Dangerous conditions, you've got light poles, you've got metal bleachers, other things out there that are there. And I think really the three things that kind of make up your severe weather policy, you've got people, technology, and as I just mentioned, your policy here. So I think when you take into account those three things, really helps you put together how you're going to handle lightning.
So impacts of severe weather to sports and athletics. There are many impacts, from power outages to athlete and spectator safety. I mean, we deal with that in our department on a regular basis. We try to alert, many affiliations, many professional affiliations with the best guidance that we possibly can. Recently, yesterday, we had a nice thunderstorm complex go through Illinois. It wasn't expected. It just wasn't expected. It happened. We alerted them probably 2 or 3 hours ahead of time. So, it's kind of along those lines. We have communication failures, staff and coach safety, game and practice delays. That happens frequently.
Sure.
No matter affiliation.
Yeah, and on the sports complex side, I know a lot of the larger complexes have big tournaments, and a lot of dollars are put into those tournaments, and a lot of travel is factored around that. And really being able to determine severe weather, whether that's tournaments in the winter where there may be some snow, could impact people coming in, or in the summer, thunderstorms, where you may have to potentially cancel or reschedule things, can really be a financial burden. So it's a really great idea to have a good policy in place and have some backup plans if weather would impact what you guys are doing.
So what's at stake? So obviously there's three main things here. Liability, so on the school or the affiliation or whatever may transpire there. And then injury and death.
So I think these are just some key things that you really want to consider when you're actually putting a lightning policy together or a severe weather safety policy. I think the first thing is you need to figure out what kind of technology do you want to use, and certainly understand whether you're a professional sports organization all the way down to just maybe being out fishing for the day. I think your technology and how you're going to implement it is going to vary greatly. But I think that's kind of the first step You need to figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to use the technology. The second thing you'll do is you want to develop alerts. So if lightning is key to you, you can go ahead and if you have one of our software-based systems or hardware-based systems, you can set up that alert to ensure that you're going to know exactly when lightning is within your area and when you need to clear. The third thing you want to do is once you have a policy established, you really want to make sure that everybody that visits your complex and anybody that comes out to that complex knows exactly what the policy is. I know right up the street here at the Maryland Soccerplex in Germantown, they have our outdoor alerting system, and they have signs posted everywhere to let you know that as soon as lightning is within 10 miles of the facility, that horn will sound for 15 seconds. And at that point, it's key to clear the area. Games will be stopped. The staff there will go around and notify everybody, but they really do a great job of notifying people that this is our policy. And as soon as those horns sound, the game's ended. And just based on the size of the facility and number of visitors they have there, they instruct people to go back to their vehicles just because there's not enough room to put everybody. So that's a safe place to go if you're in an outdoor space. Definitely recommend getting into an enclosed space or a vehicle. Standing under a picnic table, standing under a covered area that has picnic tables is not safe. You need to be somewhere that has an enclosed four walls to ensure your safety. And this is just a quick look at kind of how our outdoor alerting system works here. So this is one of our horn systems that's out there. This is typically installed out at a facility. The location of the complex or the golf course will determine what distance is key to you as far as lightning. As soon as that first strike is detected within that range, what will happen is the horn will sound. We have a strobe that will stay illuminated as you're under alert, and you'll actually have a countdown clock that's working. So in real time, you can see when it's going to be safe to get people back out, whether it's on the golf course or on the sports complex facility. And as soon as it's all clear, that horn will sound 3 short 5-second bursts to let you know it's safe to resume. The light will turn off on the strobe, and you'll actually see a little green on the app there. The app will go green to let you know it's safe to resume play.
So lightning indicator of storms. Within 18 miles and 45 minutes before and after a storm report, we have some percentages listed here. 90% of high wind reports include lightning. 94% tornado reports include lightning, and almost 100% hail reports include lightning. So we have a couple graphs over here to highlight the difference. High wind reports with lightning, and then tornado and high wind reports. This is obviously from 2013, and then we have without, and you can see, the coverage is very expansive, especially east of the Rockies. And then, when you don't have the lightning, the coverage shrinks. But I think that's to be expected when you're dealing with clouds that aren't high enough to produce lightning. So
this would just be an example if you had a combined hardware and software solution at your facility. So we offer a software product that's called Spheric, which we'll take a look at a little bit later, but you can actually set up radius rings out here and visualize the lightning in real time along with the radar here. But if you had a policy where basically at 25 miles you kind of gave some of your key stakeholders a heads up, so if you're at a sports complex, that might be the executive director or the head's groundkeeper, just to give him an early heads up that, hey, there may be lightning. Let me open up my Spheric and take a look and see if this storm is going to hit us. Maybe it's going to go north or south of us. Then you can set up your second alert at 15 miles. And really there at 15 miles, you want to get a couple more people in the know. So, you can include, if you're at a school, it can be an athletic director, athletic trainer, and let them know, hey, guys, we may have to pack this thing up soon. We may want to start giving people a heads up. There's lightning in the area, and we may have to take action soon. And then kind of the third notification, which we showed earlier, is that horn. So as soon as you get within that 10-mile radius, that horn will sound, and that's kind of when everybody takes action. So again, this is a combined solution, which I would recommend for larger sports complexes where you're going to have a lot of people out there. You may need that additional time to let people know and give them a little bit of advance warning instead of just having that horn sound at 10 miles and kind of have everybody panic and get out of there. These are just a couple different types of lightning detection and lightning prediction systems that are out there. This is our system over here on the right, which is detecting lightning. We have a large network of real-time lightning sensors that are established all across the globe that are detecting lightning. It's a fully networked solution. The prediction-based systems are a little bit more of a sole. It's just one site there that's detecting lightning at that specific location. If that system were to go down, there's no backup, there's no redundancy there that's going to give you the alerting. With our system, again, being fully networked, visualizing the strikes in real time really helps for decision making, whereas the predictive system can just tell you that the conditions may be right for lightning, but doesn't necessarily mean there will be lightning. And what we've heard from a lot of our customers that have replaced their old predictive system is just the ability to be able to have a countdown clock and let people know exactly where the strikes are and exactly when it's time to resume play is a huge help with our system.
So some takeaways from the show is lightning is a real threat to athlete safety, yet it is highly predictable. I think a good case of that Mike made on the last slide about our detection system. And then our detection system has real-time advanced weather detection. It has, very good coverage, so we're able to use it even in MedOps to forecast. We have cell tracks, we have different things we could use outside of radar, which is very helpful. And then relying on primitive weather safety techniques and technologies puts athlete and staffs and patrons at risk.
So just a little quick company history here. So our company was founded back in 1993. We're headquartered in Germantown, Maryland, about 20 miles north of Washington, D.C. You can see here just a little quick look at our network. We have over 10,000 of our real-time weather stations across the globe, and 1,500 of those lightning sensors that I mentioned. Some of you may be familiar with the WeatherBug app. It was actually created by our company here, and we actually sold that brand off back at the end of 1996. And we are still providing all the weather data, real-time lightning data for that application. And some of the key solutions that we've looked at, I know we really focused more on the outdoor alerting, and we're going to talk a little bit more about our Spheric product, which is our visualization and alerting tool. And we mentioned up top here weather stations. We also do real-time weather. So if you're a school or a complex, heat index, wet bulb, things like that are important to you. You can have one of those weather stations out there and be alerted on the conditions out of your facility in real time. This is just a really quick look at some of our partners across the country. So you can see we work with a lot of the PGA sections across the country to help them keep their members safe out at their events. And just some of the NFL, Major League Baseball are a couple of the bigger name organizations that we work with as well, just to kind of help them with some weather decision technology.
And so now we'll go live to Spheric. Just a kind of a broad overview here. All of the purple strikes that you see, where the magenta are in-cloud strikes, and then the yellow strikes are cloud-to-ground detected by our system. And then the polygons that are, the 3 different polygons that are here are DTAs produced by our network, by our system, our alerting system. So we're just going to kind of roll into the live part of this here. So Florida is, typically one of the, if not the hotspot for lightning in the U.S. Obviously, a lot of the lightning occurs, during the summer months, June, July, and August, but it's not just confined to Florida. It can happen, as Mike said earlier, it could happen anywhere across the U.S. We have detection in other countries as well. So, and we're growing there as well. So this is kind of just, a live look at what's going on right now. We don't, there aren't any cell tracks, so there aren't any thunderstorms that are strong enough to produce them at this point. But, you get the sense, this is 15-minute lightning, and you can see that there's probably stuff going on here from the sea breeze coming in from the Atlantic side, and then you're going to have different activity coming in from the west side, from the Gulf as well, from that sea breeze. So, eventually they'll converge, and you'll end up having, an area of thunderstorms, and then slowly they'll decay with time this afternoon.
Yeah, so I think Fred touched on it a little bit, but obviously the strikes here, any of the magenta strikes, those are the in-cloud strikes. Anything that's in yellow there are the actual cloud-to-ground strikes, and this is all occurring in real time. So as we mentioned, if you are a county organization that have multiple locations and multiple facilities, you can set up those different locations all over and be alerted for lightning in real time. And you can obviously alert different coaches, facilities managers, anybody that needs to be in the know about that. You can set up again multiple locations, and really when you get one of those alerts, there's a mobile app that goes along with this. So if you're out on those fields, especially a lot of the trainers are out there, as soon as you get an alert, you can fire this up and you can see where the lightning is in relation to you in real time.
And there are also great tools up here that you can use for distant markers, which are also very helpful if you don't have notifications set up for your group.
So I think, just that this is something that we'd like to offer to you guys. We'd like to offer a 30-day trial to the spheric maps. And again, kind of what goes along with that, we'll get you access to the mapping program, which also comes along with one mobile seat that you can access. So how do you request it? You just need to email in to info@earthnetworks.com, and we can have one of our specialists, whether you're a government-owned complex or a county-owned complex, professional sports team, or an education group that's looking to get some more information. We can certainly have our team reach out and get you set up and get you trained up on the program. So thanks again for spending about 15 minutes with us. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about lightning safety out at sports complexes. And again, I'm Mike Alberghini, Director of Sales, Domestic Sales at Earth Networks. This is Fred Allen, one of our meteorologists. Thanks again.
Thank you.